Namaste. Dinacharya, or our daily routine in Ayurveda, is really important. Now, a lot of people get really overwhelmed with this because they think it's rules and they think it's a rigid way that they have to be, and there's a lot of resistance to that. So let's first start off and say Dinacharya is not about being rigid. In fact, Ayurveda is not a whole bunch of rules. The mastery Ayurveda level is listening to yourself. And unfortunately, we become so disconnected from ourselves and from nature and from our natural rhythms that it is helpful to have the wisdom of Ayurveda and the guidance of Ayurveda to go, what time do I need to go to bed? And what time do I need to wake up? And what foods are going to be best for my constitution, my dosha? So take it all in understanding that Ayurveda offers a lot of suggestions, and they're all that, they're suggestions. Now, if you're someone whose vata is high, and many people have really high vata, even if they're not vata prakruti, not vata in their predominant constitution, because we have all of the 5 elements in us, and in our culture, in our society, we're living through a very vata vitiating paradigm, meaning very stressful, right? Very fast, move, multitask, do lots of different things all over the place, and that elevates vata. So stress is going to elevate vata, no matter if you're kapha predominant. You might have a better capacity for managing being in our world in the way that it is. And it doesn't mean you can't go to balance in a vata type way, even if you're kapha predominant or pitta predominant. Typically in Ayurveda, the predominant dosha, so if you're predominantly pitta, fire and water, or predominantly vata, air and ether, or predominantly kapha, water and earth, then you will tend to go out of balance in that type way. So someone of vata nature will tend to go out of balance in an air type way, and they have a more delicate nervous system. But it doesn't mean that the other doshas can't be affected by the other elements. We're constantly moving through like a sea of these 5 elements, and the ratio of these 5 elements internally is constantly changing. This is what we call vikruti. So our daily routine needs to support us, and that's the purpose of it, is to support us to feel better. It's not about rulesy, like meh, 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 meh. It's about how can I actually navigate my life in a more fluid, aligned, and healthy way, so that I can tap into the vitality that's available, so that my body-mind can be the most optimal expression of itself that it can be. And honestly, without Ayurveda, I don't know where I would be, because I find the knowledge of it, of starting to know, oh, I'm going out of balance in a pitta type way, or I'm going out of balance in a vata type way, or out of, in a kapha type way, by simply going, okay, my vata's high. There's too much movement, too much overwhelm, too much lightness moving up into the head, all the prana is moving up here. Then I just simply go, what do I need? I need to move the energy downward upon a vayu. I need to ground my energy. I need to calm. And then the tools I may access would be, oh, well, maybe I'm going to do an abhyanga, a self-oil massage. Maybe I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight, or have an Epsom salt bath with lavender essential oils. Or maybe I'm going to do a restorative yoga practice, or put my legs up the wall, or a yoga nidra practice. So essentially, we just have to, first of all, become very present to our current situation. How am I? How am I feeling? What are the qualities? Am I feeling hot and irritated and sharp and fiery? Okay, well, how can I cool down? How can I calm down? How can I lessen the intensity? Maybe I go and watch a funny movie. Maybe I check in with myself and notice that the fire has gotten too high and I need to have a cooling meal, meaning maybe I bring in cilantro and white rice and something that's really calming and cooling, and not aggravating with tons of heating spices or red wine or anything that is going to aggravate heat in the body, red meat. And then if we're feeling lethargic, heaviness, the dullness, the melancholy, the stuckness of kapha, then we might need to do something that's a little more invigorating. We might need to get up early in the morning and exercise. And here's the thing, a lot of people confuse exhaustion, which is the depletion of the adrenals, or it can be, and that complete, like I feel flat, and they think, well, it's kapha. So if you're in that place right now where you feel like I'm exhausted, I'm so tired, we want to look at, is that a vata exhaustion where you're literally had gone probably into a pitta burnout and then into a vata exhaustion, or is it a kapha sort of heaviness, resistance, sluggishness? I'm feeling tired because there's not enough movement. So we want to distinguish those two. But irregardless, for all of us, routine is supportive. The body likes to know when it's supposed to eliminate. The body likes to know when it's going to wake and go to bed. The body likes to know when it's going to eat its meals. So we're all going to feel better on the right routine for us. And sometimes the right routine is not having a routine. Many vata types don't want to stay on a routine because they feel like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to feel like hemmed in by this or that. And they're the ones that actually need a more of a container. And that's really what a routine can do. It can provide a safe container so that we can relax, because we go, oh yeah, I know I'm going to have my lunch at this time every day, or I'm going to wake up and do my gratitude journal, or before I go to bed, I'm going to do alternate nostril breathing to relax. So it's finding out what works for you and what you're willing to carve out the time for. That's often a really big excuse for people, is I don't have the time. I spoke with a woman the other day who has 4 kids. She's got a lot of kids, but she says, I don't have time to scrape my tongue. And tongue scraping takes 10 seconds. So 10 seconds out of your day to wake up in the morning before you do anything and scrape your tongue. And I think if we are in a belief system that says, I don't have 10 seconds to do one small thing to take care of myself, our priorities are so out of whack. Our belief system, and we're in victimhood. We're in like, oh, I have to give to everyone else, or my life is so chaotic. We have to remember, we've created our schedule, our life. We said yes to these things. No one has made us live the life we're living. So we get to decide. We get to choose what works for me, what is going to be supportive of my health. And here's the thing with dinacharya. Don't try and do it all at once. So slowly start to weave in these practices. If you're already waking up in the morning, scraping your tongue, drinking warm water, perhaps with lemon if you're wanting a little more heating quality, or lime if you're wanting a little more cooling quality. Maybe you have some kind of meditation or yoga practice. That's beautiful. If you feel like you're at your capacity, that you're kind of like, this is all I can do, that's okay. But just make sure you're doing something, and something consistently. And I would recommend making sure you have a morning routine and an evening routine before you go to bed. So those bookends of your day are set, they're sacred, and you're connecting consciously into how you're entering into the day vibrationally and how you're exiting the day vibrationally, which will in turn affect your sleep and then move into the next day. So I always say our day begins the night before. So how you woke up this morning is a reflection of what your body, mind, thoughts, emotions were before you went to bed, what you had for dinner last night, and so on. So we want to really consider that as we're making our evening choices. Oh, am I going to have that second glass of wine? Or, oh, am I going to eat that chocolate cake at 10 p.m.? You want to consider, am I going to sleep really well with this? Am I going to wake up feeling refreshed? What time am I going to bed? Is it another binge Netflix night? Is that going to serve how I want to move into my day tomorrow? And is that aligned with who I want to be and where I want to put my energy in my life and in my world? And there's no judgment. Ayurveda is not judgmental in that way. It's simply cause and effect. The karma, the action of your choice, will have consequences, right? This we know is living on this earth as long as we have, that actions have consequences. So it's not judgmental, it's simply saying, are these actions through my thinking, my believing, my feeling, and my actual doing of things in my life taking me in the direction that I want to go on the upward spiral or the downward spiral? So those are some things to consider. Okay, much love.